Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Francy and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. It is time for my July TBR because June is coming to an end and I am excited for more than one reason. Usually I'm just excited to do my TBR videos because I love discussing with you all what I plan to read in the upcoming month, but July is a month that is going to help me with my SAS list. It is literally dedicated to me making major headway in my SAS list, and you're going to find out just how much it's going to help me soon enough. But let's get right to the intro, shall we? As I say, welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Yes, hello and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am so honoured that you've chosen to spend some time with me today as I go through the list of books that I plan to read in the month of July. Now, as I said prior to the intro, I am planning to dedicate the month of July towards my SAS list. I want to make some great headway into my SAS list. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I mean, we're going to be halfway through the year, starting off the first month in the second half of the year in July, and so I really want to hit the ground running. I plan on finishing 3 series that are on my SAS list in the month of July, but how am I going to achieve this? Well, you will find out soon enough. First of all, let's talk about my buddy read that is not on my SAS list, and that is the buddy read of the selection by Kiera Cass. For me, I am going to be reading this book, The One by Kiera Cass, which is book number 3 in the selection series, as the very first book that I read in the month of June. I technically would love to start reading this book on July. The first book I read in July. I technically would love to start reading this book right at the end of June, like the last day of June, but I know that I won't have enough time to finish this book by the end of the month, so it will be either the last book I start at the end of June, or at least the first book that I begin in the month of July, and then that will wrap up the first era of the selection series, and then I'll find out if you'll want to keep going on to book number 4 and book number 5. But I've really enjoyed my buddy read of this series. So the next book that I plan to pick up is a book that was moved over or pushed over, as with The One, to July because I did not have enough time to get to it in June. And this is a series that is on my SAS list. It is the Shopaholic series by Sophie Kinsella. I read book number 1, Confessions of a Shopaholic, in June this month. So in July, I'm going to read Shopaholic Abroad, which is book number 2. I would have read this book this month, but I literally didn't have enough time. I ended up somehow missing a couple of days of reading, and then I was just floundering to try and catch up. So I just decided to take this book and shove it on over into July, and that's what's going to happen. I do not plan to get through the entirety of this series by the end of the year, so I can take my time with it. So it was more than okay that I read book number 2, or read book number 2, in July. So now let's talk about the next 4 books that I plan to read, because these 4 books are going to help me to close out a series that is on my SAS list. And that is this lovely little picture of the cat right here, that series, the Spellford Cove series. Okay. By the time we get to the end of July, book 7 should be ready to go. On my SAS list, I do have all 7 books. I read The Witching Flower, book 1. Underneath it, I have Double Tartan Trouble. I read both of those, loved them both. And then this month in June, I read book 3, which I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, in July, in order to close out this series, I am going to be reading books 4, 5, 6, and if it's available, 7. So I don't have these books on me, but I'm a little upset. Just a little, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's kind of annoying. Okay. For someone like me, I love having physical books on me. I just love tangibly not only having them, but putting them in my bookshelf and displaying them. Not just for booktube video purposes at all. I love looking at my bookshelves when I'm not doing videos. In fact, I look at my shelves a whole lot more when I'm not filming compared to when I do. And yeah, and I just love looking at them. I love this series. The covers are just gorgeous. I love the signage and the fact that it's set in a bakery with cupcakes. I love the putty on the cover. Every time I talk about the putty, I say meow meow, so I had to do it again. And yeah, I really envisioned having 7 of these books. However, I went onto Amazon and I found something out. The only books that are available in physical form in this series are the first 4 out of 7. Books number 5, 6, and 7 are not available as a physical book. So my only option, because I can't do ebooks, is to listen to them on audiobook and not have the physical book, which is going to annoy me greatly because, as I said, I envisioned having 7 of these books in my bookshelf and I'm only going to be able to have 4. So, but it is what it is. So I'm going to put them up on the screen for you. The first of the Spelford Coves that I'm going to be reading will be book number 4, and it is called With a Charm on Top. This book is available as a physical book. I just don't have it yet, but the rest of them are not. So then we have book number 5, which is Icing on the Curse. Then we have book number 6, which is Bread and Bewitching. And then we have book number 7, which will round it all out, which is Proof is in the Potions. Now, with Proof is in the Potions, I'm kind of waiting to see what's going on with this book because I made a point to check Audible for this one, I think a couple of days ago on my calendar, because Audible said it was coming out at a certain date. I checked yesterday and it wasn't available on Audible, which makes no sense to me when it says on this date this book will be available, and you get to that date, and I literally made sure to wait a couple of days after the date just to make sure with time zones and everything, and it's gone from it'll be available on this date to it's not available on Audible. So I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. So my promise is this: if Proof in the Potions is available at the time that I want to get to it, of course I'm going to listen to it. If it's not, then there's really nothing I can do, and I'll just have to consider the series closed and completed up to date until I can get a copy of that audiobook. So we'll have to see how we go. But yeah, that will help me to close out Spelford Cove, and then Spelford Cove will be done. So the next book I'm going to read is going to help me to close out another series on my SAS list, which is the Cape Cod Foodie Mystery series. I've read book number 1 and book number 2. Book number 3 is this book, which is Murder is No Picnic. I don't have this book yet. I'm umming and ahhing about whether or not to get the book. I thought book 1 in this series was okay. Book number 2 really let me down. So I don't know. I'm kind of sad that I don't have some of the physical books on me, but this one, I'm actually okay that I don't have it on me. So we'll see how we go. But that will help me to cross the Cape Cod Foodie Mystery series off of my SAS list. So that's the next one. Then the one after that is the Buddy Read, which is the 3rd book in the Silver Six Crafting Mystery series, and this will help me to cross that series off as well. Book number 1, Basket Case, I really did not like at all. However, book number 2, Paint the Town Dead, was a massive improvement. So Nancy Haddock, which I've been saying Haddock this whole time, but then on the audiobook it says Haddock, so I'm sorry. Nancy Haddock did an amazing job with book 2. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things go with book 3. And book 3 is called A Crime of Poison. So this book is one of the non-series read-alongs, buddy reads, that I'm going to be doing over on my Discord. If you would like to join me for that, link to that is in the description. So yes, that will help me to cross off Silver Six Crafting Mystery Series from my SAS list, which will be 3 series crossed off. Next up, I have a series that is my favourite series, and that is the Amish Candy Shop series to get to. I have decided to read 1 book in the Amish Candy series per month, and that is including novellas. So one book or novella, depending upon where I'm at, and I am now up to the final novella that has been published thus far, which is Candy Cane Crime, which can be found in the physical copy of this book, Amish Candy Shop Holidays. So this is a compendium of the 3 novellas that are out in this Amish Candy Shop series so far. So yeah, Candy Cane Crime, which we'll put an image of that right there, Candy Cane Crime by Amanda Flower, is book number, I don't even know, 5.5, I believe. So I need to read this one in July. Then in August, I'm reading book number 6, Lemon Drop Dead. And then depending upon how I'm feeling when it comes out, I'm either going to read the latest new release for the series, which is Peanut Butter Panic. I'm either going to read it in August, or I'm going to wait and then read it in September. But either way, I'm so close to being up to date, which is a good thing and a bad thing for me because I love the series so much. The next book that I plan to get to in the month of July is a series that is not on my SAS list, but if things continue to go the way they did for me in book number 1, then best believe it will be on my SAS list in 2023. This is the Coffee House Mystery Series by Cleo Coyle. I read book number 1 a number of months ago, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. On What Grounds? And I absolutely loved that book. If you are a coffee lover / enthusiast, I highly recommend this series. It is wonderful. Anyway, I'm going to be reading book number 2, which I do have on me, which is called Through the Grinder. Yee! So very, very excited to get to that one and to get back to the Cleo Coyle world of the Coffee House Mystery Series. The next book that I plan to read is the start of the first book, so the beginning of a new series for me, and it is another series on my SAS list, so I get to start a new one, which is always fun. And this first book is going to be a buddy read on my Discord, so once again, link to that is in the description. And the series is called the Southern Ghost Hunter series. Book number, this is by Angie Fox. It is an adult cozy mystery series. And book number 1 is called Southern Spirits. I've been looking at this cover for the majority of the year, wondering how this is going to go for me. And now in July, I finally get to start it. So if you want to join me, once again, link to the Discord in the description. Click on it, come on over, join us. It's going to be interesting. I always have high hopes when I start a series, so we'll see how we go. I have 2 more books left for my July TBR, and the first of which is going to help me to continue on with a series that I love. Kind of an unpopular opinion that I love this series, but I read book number 1 a number of months ago, and I loved it. And I always planned to continue on with the series, but I just didn't have time because I had other series that I wanted to get to first. But now I can finally continue on with this series that I, loved book 1 in anyway. And that is the Booktown Mystery Series by Lorna Barrett, and book number 2 is what I'm reading in July. It is called Bookmarked for Death. Again, I don't have the physical copy of this book yet, but I do plan on getting it. I loved book number 1. What's it called? Murder is Binding. I loved that book. This is a cozy mystery that is set in a town that has so many different bookstores, and what separates each bookstore is that each one has its own specific genre. So we have like a mystery bookstore, a cookbook store, a thriller bookstore, a sci-fi bookstore, a horror bookstore. I just want to spend time in this town. But the book 1 was amazing, Murder is Binding. I'm so happy, Lorna Barrett. Can't wait to get to book number 2. And the final book that I plan to read in the month of July is this book, Scandal at the Salty Dog, which is book number 4 in the Secrets and Scrabble series by Josh Lanyon. You guys, I love this series for so many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons I love it is because this is an LGBTIQ plus cozy mystery series. So we're following a man by the name of Ellery Page, and not only is it interesting because it's not the norm to follow a guy in a cozy mystery series, but this guy just so happens to be gay. And I love that. And he works in a mystery bookstore as well, so that's wonderful also. I'm currently reading the third one, Murder at the Masquerade, which is going to get 5 stars from me because it was outstanding. I highly recommend this series if you want something different. So this book, Scandal at the Salty Dog, is book number 4 out of 7, so I will be over halfway by the time I get to that one. But that is it. Those are the 13 books, somehow, that I plan to get to in the month of July. What books do you plan to get to in the month of July 2022? Let me know in the comments section below. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching. Please do be kind and love one another and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading!